Okay, so we've just moved through The World is Too Much with Us. We've gone over the poem line by line. We've talked about how the sonnet is structured. We've even looked at issues related to meaning. We've talked a little bit about how this fits within the Romantic movement, but I do want to do a little bit of review to make sure you've got those connections in mind before we do our next assignment. So, who can tell me how this particular poem fits in with one of the definitions of Romanticism? Nature, love of nature, absolutely. So you have this guy saying that nature is better than civilization and that we need to take the time and spend more time in nature and learn to really appreciate it in a new way for us. Good. Who's got another one? Another one? Okay. So who remembers what that word primitivism means? Anybody? Okay, it sounds like primitive, which sounds like old, sometimes old-fashioned. Good. And what in this poem seems like it is primitive or appreciating something primitive? Yeah, you've got gods. You've got Triton blowing his horn, right? So the poet doesn't actually believe in the Greek gods, right? He's Christian. He grew up in a Protestant country, so he would not believe in multiple gods and not nature gods. So he's saying, right, that the love of nature, right, and believing that nature is in some ways divine, that's a primitivist idea. And primitive only comes in industrial societies and post-industrial societies because you have to be able to see that the old ways, the golden age, is better. Good. One more. Okay. So how is he approaching this nature thing? How is he thinking about nature? What does he feel about nature? Come on, one more definition. Good, good, good. So emotions over reason. Excellent. The whole poem is saying that my feelings about nature, right, and my feelings that it is divine override the logic by which I know, right, in my particular cultural context, that there are no gods in nature. Okay, they might have a transcendentalist idea of God being in nature, but not Greek gods. Good. So we have those three things that really stand out, really stand out in terms of the Romantic tradition and its definition. Good. So questions about that so far? Excellent. Now that you understand the poem, now that we've just reviewed how it fits in with Romanticism, now it's time for you to do some work. Okay, so you're getting ready to write a paragraph, and I want you to take a look at the directions while I go over them so that we're clear on what you need to be doing. Okay, good. So select one or two of the elements of Romanticism: reverence for nature, primitivism, emotion over reason, and explain how this poem shows us this particular idea, or two particular ideas. Be sure to use one or two quotes from the poem in your support and cite the line numbers in parentheses. You may use your copy of the text and any notes that are in your possession, not Spark Notes, nothing online, anything that you've written down in your notes. You have to have a topic sentence, making the connection between the definition and the text. You need to have supporting evidence, proper citations, explanation of how your quotes reflect back that particular concept and definition, and a concluding sentence that connects this poem to another poem. You can look at one of the British Romantic poems that we've read already, or you can even think about a poem that you just particularly love that you've read. It can be modern as well. So, are there any questions? I'm imagining that it'll take you about 15 or 20 minutes to write this paragraph, but let's see how it goes, and if you have questions along the way, just ask me.